It is 1 p.m. in Mecca. It's 2:30 p.m. in Tehran. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain Bergy. This is World One live from London.
Muslim nations meeting in Saudi Arabia have agreed to suspend Syria from an international Islamic body. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation is holding a two-day summit in the holy city of Mecca. With more on the summit and the tensions between Saudi Arabia and Iran, we take you over to Reza Saya, who joins us now from Islamabad. Reza, what is Iran hoping to get out of this?
Well, Iran wants to save an important ally in Syria.
What kind of impact would the further isolation of Syria have on Iran? And now with this news that these nations that are meeting in Mecca right now have agreed to suspend Syria from the international Islamic body.
Yeah, by the way, that's a move that Iran was against.
Continued government forces are still battling rebels inside Syria. The rebels say another 114 people died in Monday's violence. At the same time, the two sides have been busy promoting their version of what happened to a Syrian warplane that went down in flames. CNN's Ivan Watson brings us a story from Istanbul in Turkey. Just to recap for you, the leaders of Muslim nations meeting in Saudi Arabia have agreed to suspend Syria from an international Islamic body, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. They are holding a two-day summit in the holy city of Mecca, and that's where let's get more on this from CNN's Nick Robertson, who joins us now on the phone with this development. Nick. Nick,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi there, Nick. We want to talk a little bit more about this development of the suspension of Syria from the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. What does that mean for Syria? All right, we do apologize. We obviously are having trouble connecting with Nick Robertson. He was supposed to join us there on the phone from Jeddah, but of course we'll try to reestablish contact and bring that to you when we can. Zain?
In the meantime, let's take a look and see what newspapers around the world are saying about the situation in Syria. Take a look
all around for European markets this morning. Shares for now, anyway, seem to be on the upward swing. That's because although we've just had some more bad news on the Eurozone economy, some parts of the continent aren't doing as badly as expected. Taken as a whole, the economy of the 17 Eurozone countries shrank in the year's second quarter, and that was expected. But in Germany, Europe's biggest player, things are still on the up, albeit gently. The German economy grew by 0.3% as spending by domestic consumers held up surprisingly well. And France is also keeping recession at bay for now. Economy output was unchanged in the second quarter, not growing, but not shrinking either. So Germany has defied the euro crisis again, but for how long? Nina Dos Santos joins us now for a closer look at the numbers. And Nina, what do these numbers actually tell us?
Well, you can read them in two ways, Monita. We're at this interesting juncture where it could go either way. On the one hand, some people...
Former editor of Cosmopolitan magazine has died. Helen Gurley Brown broke new ground in the way the magazine spoke to women in the 1960s. She introduced candid discussions about their concerns and their sex lives and wrote a controversial book, Sex and the Single Girl, in 1962, which was later made into a movie. She followed it up with the 1964 bestseller, Sex in the Office, and she's credited with some pretty memorable quotes. Here's one you might recognize. Good girls go to heaven, bad girls go everywhere. She also said, beauty can't amuse you, but brain work, reading, writing, thinking can. Gurley Brown died Monday at a New York hospital. She was 90 years old.
You're watching World One live from London. Still ahead.
1 year since a U.S. citizen was arrested in Iran accused of being a CIA spy. In January, Amir Mirza Hekmati was sentenced to death for espionage. Hekmati, who served in the U.S. Marines from 2001 to 2005, was arrested last August while visiting his grandmother in Iran. There has been little news of his condition since his arrest. His family denies the spying allegations. We're joined now by Amir Hekmati's lawyer, Pierre Richard Prosper. Mr. Prosper, thank you very much for being with us. When was the last contact you had with him?
Well, the last contact that the family had was back in June. The mother was able to go and visit.
All right, Mr. Prosper, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
A busy day ahead on the U.S. campaign trail. The new man in the race, Vice Presidential candidate Paul Ryan, will be
Taking you to Germany now, and some growing concern about right-wing extremism. Organizations on the militant far right represent a small minority in the country, but one neo-Nazi group has found a very public way of spreading its message of hate. Aisha Sasay explains.
They appear in the middle of the night.
Well, welcome back. Anyone out there suffering from an Olympic hangover, perhaps? Well, a lot of us are, after 2 weeks of non-stop action in. Well, there are still some Olympic stories making news this hour. Pedro Pinto is here to tell us all about that.
I am indeed. You know, the Olympics are done, but there's still some stories coming out of London 2012. South Korea finished third.
You got the special one, the only one?
Well, Zayn has called me P-Dog on the air before, because that's what
that's not right.
my street
The
crew
tall
calls
one?
me.
Maybe the
The
tall
street
one?
crew. I don't have a street crew.
The tall one? You're the tall
The
one.
tall one? Sure.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
The sexy one.
Oh, I like that.
You like that?
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
All right, time for a break.
All right, you're watching World One live from London.
Welcome back. You are watching World One. Here are some of the stories that we're talking about here in the World One newsroom. A new, tougher U.S. crash test is proving just too tough for many luxury cars. Of the 11 models tested, 8 flunked the frontal crash test. The Mercedes-Benz C-Class and the Audi A4 are reportedly among the worst performers. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety gives Honda's Acura TL and Volvo S60 a big thumbs up. Now, if you're afraid of snakes, look away. I wish I could. It's not there. I don't want to see it. The monster has been captured in Florida's Everglades National Park. It's a pregnant Burmese python over 5 meters long, and it's carrying a record-breaking 87 eggs. It's still there. I can feel like it's crawling on me or something. Researchers from the United States and Florida are hoping to find clues about how to stop the spread of this species. Florida has the world's worst problem with snakes. And archaeologists looking for new discoveries are swapping their traditional picks and shovels for satellites. These are pictures of 2 new possible pyramid sites in Egypt. Researcher Angela Mikol found them not by digging under the sand, but by studying satellite pictures from Google Earth. The location of the sites will remain undisclosed until they can be protected. And Zayn, you'd think you'd be able to see pyramids. They're supposed to be pretty big, right?
Yep. It's a cool find, though, still, I think.
Yeah.
The cleanup from last week's deadly floods in the Philippines also still going on, but now there's a new tropical storm that's threatening the region. Mari Ramos is here to tell us about it. Mari, how bad is it?
You know what? The thing is that this is a tropical storm, so it's not a typhoon. So in that sense, maybe little dip in the pool there as well.
I love that you say, Mari, it's a beautiful picture. You know, enjoy it. You only have 1 day of it left.
You have one more
One
day.
day left.
Enjoy it.
That's it.
Call in sick.
Well, you're
Call
going
in
away
sick.
somewhere warmer, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
All right,
fun.
Mari, thank you very much for that. I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us here on World One.
And I'm Zayn Perchi. I'll call in sick.